Hello there and welcome to a new video. My sister had purchased a coverlet and she used it for about 2-3 years, and then the back of the coverlet was torn. This coverlet is from Bombay dyeing. The coverlet is nice and soft. The only thing is it's made up of malmal sort of fabric. It is very soft, and since there are no stitches in between, even if there is a small hole, it just expands to a big tear. So the first step here is undoing the bias tape. Luckily, this bias tape was stitched with only one stitch, so there were no two stitches. Undoing one stitch made sure that the bias tape was removed. Once the tape was removed, I cut the bottom fabric. This coverlet had 3 layers, one colorful malmal fabric on the top, one batting, and one at the bottom, which I'm cutting over here. After this, I laid the coverlet down and measured it properly. So I found the length and the breadth. It was about 210 centimeters and 230 centimeters. The fabric that we purchased for this project was poplin, which is about 35 inches wide. So I needed 3 pieces of this poplin in order to cover the back. I kept some free space, room for error in fact, for this back cloth so that the coverlet can move freely on it. This fabric I have cut 2.5 meters each. That is, I have used 7.5 meters in total. The poplin costs approximately 100 rupees per meter, so this mending is taking 750 rupees just for the material. Once the 3 layers were ready, I set on the sewing machine to make it into one big sheet. Once done, I laid it down on the coverlet and then we shall start pinning it. I had put a mat underneath, therefore pinning was a little difficult because I had to make sure that all the 3 layers are pinned and the mat is not pinned. Pinning is essential so that you can do tacking, and tacking is essential to make sure that all the 3 layers are in place and not moving. I pinned only in one direction and I pinned 3 straight lines. Next to every line of the pins, I added tackings. So at about 6 different places, I added straight tacks. The pins as well as the tacking will serve me as guide when I stitch. These steps may look very simple, but they are tedious and laborious. So they're easy, but then they take a lot of time and you have to be patient. Once the horizontal stitches were done, I thought of adding some vertical stitches as well. For the vertical stitches, we will use the joining of poplin fabric as our guide. So there will be 2 guides. Once the vertical stitches were done, I sat down to trim this coverlet. If I just had to stitch the outer boundary, it would be easy and very quick, but then I wanted this coverlet to last long, so I thought of adding the stitches in between, which took a lot of time. Secondly, the top fabric is also malmal, which is again soft, so even if there is one hole, it will just tear apart. Adding stitches gives strength to the malmal fabric, and even if there's a small hole, it can be mended easily. When I was stitching the borders, I found a hole in the malmal fabric and I was so sad about it. It's a little difficult to spot on camera, so I'll just insert pin and show you. But the way I said it can be easily mended, I stitched over it and it's done. I found 3 holes, thankfully they were all close by. And now let's add the bias tape. The coverlet originally came with just 1 stitch for the bias tape, but I cannot risk that because I want to make sure that it's proper and correctly done. So I will give it 2 stitches the way we usually do for pipings. Going around for stitch number 1. And now finishing up with stitch number 2 for the bias tape. Most of the clips are played with a higher speed because this process is really slow and tedious. Yay, is done. I just have to cut the extra threads here and there and the tacky, and that's it. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know your views in the comments, and subscribe to the channel for contents like this, repairing, mending and sustainable living. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye, take care, move soon.